Hi, my name's Rich and welcome to Wings, Wheels, and Wires, your channel for tech and travel. When I talk to my friends about owning an electric vehicle, one of the first questions I get asked is why I chose an i3 and not one of the other vehicles that are made out there. And there are three main reasons. It's value, functionality, and the style. So I'm going to break down what I mean by each one of those right after this. Alright, so first, let's talk about value. This is a rear-wheel drive, rear-engine car with a less than 8 seconds 0 to 60 time with a full carbon fiber chassis. Now, when you talk about carbon fiber, most vehicles it shares that set of stats with are pretty expensive. You have the Ford Shelby GT 350R, comes in at $78,000, and the BMW 7 Series is $87,000. Both of these only have carbon fiber components. When you talk about all carbon fiber chassis, you're talking about the Alfa Romeo 4C is the cheapest one at $67,000. Then you have BMW i3, this vehicle's sister car, brings in at $147,000. And then you can even go up to a Lexus LFA, which is $375,000. A Hennessy Venom F5, which is $2.1 million. And then a Aston Martin AMR Pro, which is $3 million. So when you compare that to a starting price of about $45,000, it's a absolute steal compared to those vehicles. Now add to the fact that none of the vehicles on that list were all electric drive vehicles. So when you talk about electric drive vehicle, as we covered in previous videos, those are more expensive, so this would tack even more onto the price. And of course, on any given vehicle, no matter which one is made by BMW, you're paying a little extra just for that nameplate, right? So when you talk about that, you could conceivably justify this vehicle being well over $100,000, but it's not. It's only $45,000, so that makes it a real steal all by itself. Add to all of this value, there's also some things that you can't see in the vehicle. For example, BMW made a special plant in Washington that's completely hydroelectric powered with a whole brand new process for manufacturing this carbon fiber in order to make it more green, reducing the carbon footprint. So this is actually one of the greenest vehicles to produce, besides being a very green vehicle to drive, which adds both to the cost and theoretically would add on to how much the manufacturer would be able to charge for the owner. So BMW made the i3 a vehicle that they could have easily charged over $100,000 and they only charged $45,000. So why isn't everyone in the world driving one then? Well, you see, here's the problem and the benefit. You see, they misjudged the market. While they made a vehicle which in every way is worth every bit of its price tag and much more, at the same time, they made an electric vehicle that didn't have much range. I have the 2017 model and it rings in on the Rex version. The battery electric only range is 115 miles. And unfortunately, for all the great things that I just listed off to make it worth this price, at the end of the day, the consumer looks at it and goes, why would I spend $45,000 on a vehicle with a little over $100,000 when I could spend $5,000, $10,000 more and double my range? And they're absolutely right to think that. And this is why the BMW, one, didn't sell very well, and then two, the resale value on it takes a really big depreciation hit. This depreciation hit, this is where the value really kicks in. My particular vehicle that I drive has the Giga package. It's a Rex version, has the 20-inch tires and the upgraded video system and the upgraded speaker system. This was $56,000 MSRP when it was manufactured. It was purchased, even though it's a 2017 model, it was purchased in February 2018. I bought it in March 2020, so it was exactly 2 years from its production date, from its sales date. So I still had 2 years worth of base warranty, plus since it's a CPO, I have an additional year, which means I have 3 years worth of warranty, and I still had 6 years, 100,000 miles on the batteries. So I still have a great deal of warranty, and I paid $21,000. This is well less than half the price, which is an awesome deal. An electric vehicle still has 3 years of standard warranty and 6 years worth of warranty on the battery for $21,000 is a steal. This is an absolute best price. So this is when we talk about some of the competitors like getting a Tesla. There's a lot of things that make a Tesla better than this vehicle. There's some things this has over the Tesla too, but there's a lot. Overall, the Tesla's worth the money, but it's so much more money. I got this for $21,000. Pick up a 2-year-old Tesla for $21,000. I dare you. If you find it, chances are there's something seriously wrong with it. All right, so when we talk about the styling, the very first thing we have to talk about is the outside. It's a well-known fact that with the BMW i3, the outside styling, you either love it or hate it. Some people really dislike it because it's sort of squat and boxy looking, but some people actually appreciate the sort of futuristic styling with it. I know I'm definitely in that second category. I'm much more of a fan of how it looks than many people are. It's got a lot of really neat features as far as the outside styling. So you have this rear glass back panel here that some people really appreciate the styling. It also has a little bit of this curved design. This is sort of this curved wing design with this what they call black belt is actually a carryover from the i8. They share a little bit of their design language, even though the i8 is very much a sports car and this one is not designed as one. An interesting thing that you can tell about this vehicle from this side is right here on the rear is the rear charging port. This is where you charge the battery. Again, I mentioned this vehicle is a Rex and we get into functionality. We'll talk about that a little bit. But right here's the door for the gas tank, because this does have a a little over 2 gallon gas tank, and that's where you would fill the gas. All right. So an interesting thing that they also carried over is, as I mentioned, this vehicle is made entirely of carbon fiber, or more particularly carbon fiber plastic. So the roof up here actually has this carbon fiber exposed where you can see it if you look very closely. The same way as we have with the doors. The door sills actually have that carbon fiber reinforced plastic as well, bare so you can see it. It's kind of a neat design feature when you roll into the inside, is that you have that visible carbon fiber. All right, so as I mentioned, it's a really love it or hate it with the outside design. The inside design, though, is much more universally likable. The different trim levels have different setups. The basic one, called the Deca package, has all cloth seats all the way through. Then you have what's called the Mega package, which is set up somewhat similar to this, except this is leather here, and in place of this, on that, they have some gray vinyl. They call it their Sensitech. That looks pretty decent. And then on the Giga you have this leather insert, and then they also have the Terra package where you have it's all leather. I personally prefer this design to the all leather one, even though I prefer all leather seats, because the all leather is really a dark brown, and then going along with it, the dashboard is very all dark as compared to what I have here, which is a much lighter color palette. I really kind of like the brown and light beige combination. You have the similar sort of thing on the door panels, where you have the light colors with the gray and the light leather. It has good sized storage pockets on the doors, as you can see. You also have a good sized storage bin inside in the middle, as well as some storage in the armrest. So that's pretty cool. Neat thing about this is it looks like a really small vehicle from the outside, but the actual space inside is pretty significant. This is more comfortable as far as spacing and seating and everything than my wife's 3 Series. So it's got a decent amount of leg room. inside and out. So it's pretty cool that way. All right, moving around, you have the rear storage area here. It's not huge, but it's also not small. You can fit like one full-size suitcase or two carry-ons. You also have a lot of space with the seats dropped down. All right, so moving around. This is a view from the other side. Major point for me on this is the steering area. On the upper package one and the very bottom, very top packages, this is really dark brown. Don't like it so much. On the lower two packages, this actually has a blue ring, which I wish this did, but it doesn't. The only one that has this color steering wheel with that is the Mega, which has the vinyl. Going inside. All right, so from the driver's perspective, this is what the car looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and start her up. To start her up, you have a button here, and of course to truly start it, you have to have your foot on the brake. This is the driver control, kind of like the dashboard on any given car. It's kind of a neat feature to have this, because I think the newer, smaller Teslas actually don't have this. Everything's run from the center screen. So this is the center console, has the BMW iDrive information. It's banging at me because the doors are open, but this gives you its standard BMW iDrive. BMW i3, like many electric vehicles, actually has a front storage area, aka a frunk. Unlike the Tesla and other some vehicles, it's not a very large storage space. It's good for, they have a tire kit because they don't have a spare tire. And I usually put my charging cables in there, and usually some cleaning supplies if I want to be able to clean my car while I'm out and about. So it's got some space in there, and it's definitely worth better than not having anything. And you have these little covers here, which cover up and give you access to some of your things like washer fluid and stuff like that, because while there's a lot of things that electric vehicles don't have, there's some pieces of tech that they have to have in there, brakes, stuff like that, that they still do have. Right, so lastly, let's talk about functionality. So this vehicle comes in two different types. You have the BEV model, which is battery electric vehicle only, which has a range of about 150 miles. This is part of why the vehicle didn't sell so well, right? Because that's pretty fairly short range for electric vehicles, even though if you look at it day to day, most of us don't use more than, say, 30, 40, 50 miles per day. I know I have a 25-mile commute, and that leaves me with well over half a battery at the end of each day with just a 115-mile version that I have. All right, so then you also have the Rex version, which has the battery electric drive, and it gives you a range of about 115 miles, but it also has the gas onboard generator to add another 65 miles, giving you a combined range of 180. Now in the US version, this generator doesn't kick in to augment your electricity until you're down to about 6 miles, or about 6% worth of your battery, which kind of limits you, because then your power goes down, your speed limit and everything is capped at that point. Now, alternatively, you can program it for the European settings, which then gives you the option to engage what's called state of charge, which allows you to kick in your electric generator to start charging your battery up as low as 75%. So once it hits 75%, you have the option of doing this. Where this is really advantageous is if you know that you're going to go over your charging, your electric vehicle range, you're able to start running the generator. All right, hopefully you liked this video. If you did, hit the like button. Please subscribe, and if you have any comments you want to make, please put them down below. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Thank you, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.